let's get straight into this. I think your last fight was in July. So what have you been up to since then? And have you had time to enjoy life a little bit, or has it all just been training?
Been enjoying my life as always, but it's all about balancing life. End of the day, I had a bit of an injury in my arm. I broke my elbow straight after my fight. I had no idea that I broke my elbow, to be fair. But then I managed to get some nice private care by PFL, looking after me well. Great physiotherapy, and I'm now fit and strong. But I've just been in the gym all the way around, even when my elbow's been broke. Sorry. I've just been training as usual, but obviously got to enjoy my life here and there. I had a little holiday after my fight, but back to the drawing board as always.
Would you say you're 100% now ahead of this fight?
Yeah, I'm 1,000%. I like to think,
Ah,
yeah.
I love that. I love that. What are your thoughts on your opponent? Is he, would you say he's the toughest test of your pro career so far?
uh, it's just a name end of the day. So because people know of him more than other guys have probably fought. It's just that's all it is really. It's just a name and a face that what like brings more eyes to the fight end of the day. His toughest fight probably, but I don't feel like it's a tough fight. I've always had tough. I've had tough fights. I fought a Brazilian last year, and he was tough since then. He's been on a 4-fight win streak. I've fought great guys before. People just like to look down a bit when I've been on regional scenes. You know what I mean?
You've had a great 2023, but I want to know what's in store for you for 2024. Are you planning to enter the PFL Europe tournament? What's happening?
It's possible. End of the day, I don't want to think too far ahead because I've got a quest in front of me right now, a little side mission of Weslley Maia. So I've got to take care of my man on the 8th of December. Do what I got to do, get my job done, and then we'll see what the future is. But the PFL tournament roster is definitely a possibility for me. It will be, I assume anyway. Yeah.
If you were one of the fighters who are fighting for 100 grand, in a couple of weeks' time, or I think it's 1 week time from now, imagine, you win the fight, the 100 grand's in your bank. What on earth would you do with it? Would you spend it all in one day? What would you would you be more careful? Would you invest it? What would be your plan?
Well, imagine getting given 100k at 23 years old. It's pretty mad that. I could have got in the tournament last year, but I was a bit like, I don't think I'm ready for that sort of money to go in front of me. I don't know. Who knows what I'll be like with that end of the day? But I've got a great management, a great team around me, great people around me, and I wouldn't spend it all. I'm going to spend it, enjoy my life, but I'm probably invest that. Probably I will invest that. I've got like a few business ideas I got in my mind on what I want to do in the near future with money, and I feel like I'd just do something around that with 100k. Yeah.
You feel because obviously the way that the PFL have pushed you, the way that you have fought brilliantly, some spectacular knockouts. Do you feel like you have a target on your back with the amount of people that are following you? Some fighters might think, well, if I take out Lewis McGrillen, I can really enhance my profile. So in a way, people might be really pushing their level when they're taking on yourself.
100%. That's probably what I see Weslley Maia as, because I feel like he needs to prove something. I feel like the guys he beat have not been great, so I feel like the good way to get big eyes on him is beat Lewis McGrillen, and I knew straight away. As soon as I made my PFL debut and I beat Saleh Khan, I looked at it straight away as I've got a bounty on my head now. I've got a bounty on my head, and I've got a name for it, and I'm very known, so people are gonna want to take me out. At the end of the day, that's how it is. It's like who's the biggest conqueror, who can conquer the most. But then someone's gonna like come along and try and take you out, and that's how I see it. At the end of the day, so I always need to be on my A game and always getting better.
But I feel like in a strange way, you kind of enjoy that, right? The fact that someone's coming after you and you have to, train even harder to maintain your place at the top, right?
100%. It's the fear of the unknown end of the day, and I like being under danger and stuff like that, because I like to turn it into a comfort zone. I like that. I like the chaos. I thrive underneath that, if you know what I mean. So I don't see it's part of the sport end of the day, and it's in my nature as my fighter, my journey, that what's going to happen. So I'm gonna be ready for that, all what comes in the future.
You don't have to answer this next one if you don't want to, but I noticed that you got like a message from Andrew Tate. Was that legit?
Yeah, it was 100% legit. I have one of my friends on my management, Luke Barnett. If you've heard of him, he's a former UFC fighter. He's now one of the top G's, like to say, in the war room. And Andrew Tate. So he knew I'm a massive fan of Andrew Tate. I just won my fight, and out of like a little thing, like he watched my fight, I think, with Luke Barnett, and then he gave me a little shout out and sent me a message on WhatsApp. When I found out, I was so gassed. Started running around the park, dead gassed, and I'm like, no way has he seen me. No way does he know who I am. Yeah.
Is that a little bit surreal? Because obviously, I know people have the different views on him, but he's the most Googled person on the planet, right? To get a message from somebody like that, it must be a bit surreal, right?
It's mad. I feel like I'm just, like I said, I feel like I'm living in a simulation, mate. It's just weird, like
The
little things I'm
Matrix.
like, see, yeah, I'm living in the Matrix, mate. And all these things are just coming together. I just feel like manifestation and believing in myself and seeing things like this. Like even when I got one of my knockouts went dead viral and it was all over ESPN, and Conor McGregor liked it, and that was another thing what played. I was like, wow, probably one of my favorite fighters of all time. Was just like I just seen one of my knockouts, and it's just weird in it, but in a way, I'm just like I'm not surprised. End of the day, now, do you know what I mean? It's just
I'll be honest with you. Obviously, MMA, it's an entertainment sport at the end of the day. And I was watching, the PFL Global Series. It was some great fighters on the card, but there are not many characters. When I look at this PFL card, there's like the likes of Dylan Took, who's the funniest person I think I've ever spoke to. Nate Kelly is a great character. It's an entertainment-based business, isn't it? So how important is it to have the gift to gab as well as the gift to knock people out?
Yeah, you got either you have it or you don't. I don't know what people say about me with my personality or whatever. I'm just being me. Like I say, unapologetically me is what I am, and my performances and what I am is just how I am. At the end of the day, how I fight, it's just in my nature. That violent side to me, I just feel like it's the fuel to the fire. Whether how I am as a person or whatever, it's just it all comes into play. End of the day, and it's just how I am. I am wired. End of the day, yeah.
And in 5 years' time, Lewis, where do you think we're going to see you? Are you going to be, in the holding that check for 100 grand, for $1 million? Where do we think we're going to see you?
I don't know yet. I can't see too far ahead, but I can definitely see something big coming along, especially next year. I know for the fact the world's my oyster end of the day, and I just got to take it one step at a time. And because I'm so young in the game, but I can just see me dismantling everyone. I'm different to like these people. Like people say it and see it with me, but even I'm like really. But then I do what I do in there, and it all comes into play. And it's no coincidence. End of the day, do you know what I mean?
I'm just wondering because I saw an interview about you talking about coming from a council estate and things like that. How shocked are you by the speed, by how quickly things are moving in your life, in your career?
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know, like my hometown with insurance and stuff like that. They get behind me. Like people where I'm from, either you're really good at football, or being a footballer, you're a fighter, or you're going to be a criminal. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. Like the only way to get out of this estate, end of the day. Not necessarily want to get out of the estate, but I want to do great things and make loads of money and stuff like that. If you do it in a negative way and possibly jeopardize your life in a wrong manner, or you do something in a positive way. I use my that's that dark side to me in a positive way, and all I want to do is just be great. Do you know what I mean? Help my estate, help people out, and all the support. It's no coincidence that I'm blowing up and stuff like that because I'm just being me, and I'm going to continue to keep being me.
I'm wondering, what has your family and your friends made of all of your recent, successes in MMA? You must have, people you're still in touch with from high school, things like that. Are they following you? You mentioned there's people on the estate who are watching you. What do you make of that?
It's crazy, man. Like everyone's proud of me. I know that, but obviously you probably deep down, without having success or doing your thing, is always going to be a hater probably. And I feel like I've never come across hate in person or anything like that. But like in my estate, everyone loves me and stuff like that. I always keep my circle small though, I've had the same friends since I was in play school, to be fact, and even some friends now and then, but I've trusting like a few years ago and things like that. And people sometimes I've had people like who have fell off wanting to be around me over the years, and now they want to come back on the bandwagon of being around me now. And I see right through these people, as long as I do, keep my circle small, keep doing my thing. But like, don't be so ignorant. Gotta be humble with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are my people, and I am a women's show guy, and I'm doing it for my people. So yeah.
And just lastly, how many people are you bringing over to Dublin? Family, friends? Do you know how many are coming to follow you?
Yeah, I've got a few family members. I actually couldn't tell you how many exactly. I'll give it a rough number of probably like 8 family members really, but I've got loads of family in Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So they'll be watching it and stuff like that. But I know a lot of people all around England are coming over to watch me fight because they've got a fan base around the UK now. And I've even heard people from Italy want to come over and watch me and stuff like that. And I have Irish people messaging me and stuff like that. I've got loads of friends coming over. I've got a good few friends. And I know the free arena will definitely be cheering my name.